Are you wasting your money on Manychat when you don't have to? I found this better and cheaper way of doing it and automating my business workflow. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get rid of your Manychat subscription and do it all through your GoHighLevel account. I'm going to show you how you can automate all of your DMs, all of your comments so that you can gather leads from your social medias, just like Manychat, without the price tag. And switching to this process could save you up to $3,500 per year, which you could then use just to reinvest back into your business. So what is Manychat? Manychat is a chat marketing tool. It allows you to automate all those manual tasks of replying to comments, replying to DMs, gathering people's information, sending them to your website, booking a call, sending them emails into one easy workflow that works on repeat for you so you don't have to do it. And we've seen this explode on the internet because people are using this to gather and nurture their leads in a way that we've never seen before. However, Manychat can actually be quite expensive the more contacts that you gain from it. And here's the tiering structure that you can see from their website. It also just serves one purpose, which is the DM function. Whereas if you use GoHighLevel, which is this all-in-one marketing CRM system, you can send emails, you can do payments, forms, contracts, you can do stores, websites, funnels, and now you can automate all of your chat messages. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So let's dive into it. Right, so first things first, head over to your GoHighLevel account and make sure you're in the particular sub account that you want this automation to run for. You can then select this, which is your automations. This is where all of your workflows live. You can see all mine are in here. And what I do when I create a new workflow for a particular set of workflows, I create a folder. You can see here I've created the social media, DMs and comments workflow, and I've already got my two set up here. But for this video, we're going to create it from scratch so you can follow along. So in the top right here, let's go and click Create Workflow and start from scratch. We need to obviously name that workflow, and then we want to add our first trigger. So click that button and type in Instagram. You then have your two options, Instagram comments on a post or Facebook comments on a post. We are going to add two because we want any sort of keyword to be triggered on all of our social medias, particular these two. So let's do Instagram and configure these settings. We need to choose what page it is. If you have your page set up already on here, you'll see it under the drop down list. If not, make sure you go into your integrations and integrate your Facebook and Instagram pages to GoHighLevel. So there we go. There's my Instagram page. I'm going to have this as post type is any published post. Now you can choose a particular post if you want to, which is this third filter option here. And you can then see here's all my Instagram posts that are linked to it. If I just want to do it for one particular trigger or one post, I can choose that. But I'm not going to do that. I want to just say any post, anything that's published. If they comment a particular keyword, I want this to trigger. So I'm going to add that keyword now. So I prefer to use contains a phrase. If you use exact match, they need to type that word character by character exactly how you want it to trigger it. Sometimes people will comment the word and then a phrase afterwards. It won't fire if you do that. So I like to just say contain a phrase. So if they contain these particular words, so my one is ideal, I then also kind of give a variation with the first letter capitalized and then just all lowercase, just to kind of get everything that I catch all at the same time, just so that I catch them all there. So it needs to contain that phrase. So if they say a whole long sentence and then put that word, it will fire. So if they have a long phrase, they're commenting, like just adding their opinion on the post because I want them to interact in that way as well, and then they put this word at the end of that particular sentence, this will trigger. Whereas if you had the exact match, if they put anything before or after, it does not fire. So make sure you use contains phrase. Okay, next up, you have this option which is called track first level comments only. So this means it's only going to track the first comment that comes. If there's any reply in those particular comments, then it won't trigger. Again, I'll just leave this unchecked because I want to catch everything here. So let's click save trigger. Right, then let's repeat that for the Facebook trigger as well. So here we go, Facebook comment on a post. The page is my Facebook page. The post type is anything published. And then I want to make sure that it contains this particular phrase using different variations of it. And then click save trigger. Perfect. There we go. So we have our trigger added. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a tag to the contact that this is going to be related to, because anybody that comments on your post, they are a lead and you can then warm them up, nurture them, and you want to keep their details online. This will become particularly important if you ever jump on a call with them, you know where they came from as well. So let's add a tag here. We're going to add a contact tag. I have one set up already, which is called IG lead. There we go. So it's an Instagram lead. I can also add a Facebook lead, whatever it is. But again, IG lead, perfect for this. Then I click save. Always good practice to actually put in what the tag is just in the description so you're aware of what's happening. So naturally, when anybody comments on your post, you want to reply to them so it shows everybody else that sees that post that you're interacting with them and that you're following up with what they've requested in terms of either they're signing up to a newsletter, you've got a lead magnet, or just anything, the reason why you've got this particular keyword on it. So we actually want to reply in comments. So you can see this beta option here, which is called reply in comments. And then you want a number of different types of responses that you can send them. So it doesn't just look the same or doesn't look automated too much too. So you just want to add in your different options here. So I'll give you some as a review. Then we had another one. So we've got check your DMs. We've got sent in your DMs. Here we go. Sending it now. And then I've got popped it over to you in a DM. And what this automation will do is it will just cycle through these kind of in a randomized nature, so it doesn't look like you're just saying the same thing again and again. And naturally, let's make sure that we like all those comments that are coming in, more engagement, more triggers to Instagram to help push your content out even more. So we've then got these. Let's click save action. We've then got respond on those comments. Now here's where the cool stuff happens, is we want to send something called an interactive Instagram message. And we want to first reply type. We want to reply to them via a DM rather than on the comments. So let's click reply to DM. And then you can either use templates or not. I prefer to just put it into a message straight away. So here's one that I created earlier. Hey, thanks for the comment. Are you here to join the Confident Marketer newsletter? That's my weekly newsletter that people can join. That is a question. So there are options available when a question is given. And you can do that through what we call the buttons option here. So I'm going to add a new button called sign me up. And then what I quite like to do is add a secondary call to action, which if they want to skip all that and just work with me straight away, we can definitely do that. Let's add a nice emoji for us. So when they click that button, you want them to obviously take a particular action. And under this, you can either take them to a website or to perform another action. So in this case, I would like them to perform actions because you want to keep them in the app. Customers, they tend to kind of get a little bit frightened if you take them away from the app. And this is essentially why Manychat was created. So you're not sending them to landing pages. You gather all the information in the platform and then you end with a nice call to action. So we want them to perform particular actions. And when I click save, this is going to create branches. It's going to create 3 branches. The first branch is they didn't click anything. And that's where this part comes in, which is a wait for a default next step. So if they don't click any of those buttons, you can still nudge them. You can send them a message to say, hey, you haven't quite finished this process, something like that. And it just gives another option to get them to re-engage. The second branch is going to be this one, which is the yes, sign me up. We want to gather their details in order to sign them up to the particular action, in this case, my newsletter. And then the third one is how do they actually work with me? And that's to get them to book a call. So let's click save an action. And there we have it. The default timeout, the yes, sign me up, and the work with Gavin options. Let's go straight to the meaty part, which is the yes, sign me up option. So what do we need from them in order to send the newsletter? The first thing is their email address. So let's add in a messenger. So we're going to do interactive Instagram message. And then we want to ask them a question. And this is what I tend to ask. Remember, they said, yes, sign me up. I'm going to respond to say, cool, pop over the best email to send it to. I'm not going to add any buttons or anything like that or any replies. It's purely just a message to say, yep, just let me know what email address you want me to send that to. And what's really intuitive about GoHighLevel is that when they put an email address, it automatically adds it to the contact name. Awesome. So what we want to do then is we need to wait for a reply. And the best way to do that is through an if-else condition. So if they do this, then do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to create the first branch, which is contact details. So if their email is not empty, we want to send them a welcome email to say, yep, you're signed up, great, here's what to expect. And then if it is empty, then we can do our next branch. So let's click save. So here's our 2 branches. Cool, send this in this message, we say, cool, send me over the email. We wait until they send us that email. And then in this if else condition, if their email is not empty, we are then going to send them a welcome email because they've given us their email. We're signing them up. So let's send an email here. So send email. You can then fill out exactly what you want them to say. Just as a heads up, this is kind of what I add into my welcome email. So we're going to have from name. So this is user, so I'm the user here. I'm going to add my first name. It's from my user email. And then let's call the subject line this. You're all set, the confident marketer. So that's the subject they'll see coming. Again, you could use the template if you created one. If not, I just create this particular one saying, hey there, first off, huge thanks for joining. Here's what you can expect on a weekly basis. This is what I send my newsletter on each week. And then a really useful marketing tip is to add a PS statement, a call to action for them to take another action from this particular email. And that is for them to join my free business community. There is a stat out there to say people actually read the PS statement more than the actual body of the content. So I always add that in as a good handy tip for you all. Perfect. You can send a test email just to make sure those links work too. We're not going to do that in this case. And then save action. You then want to confirm in the DMs that they are all signed up. So let's go back to the one that we've been using before, which is the interactive Instagram Messenger. And then we're just going to reply to them. I'm just copying and pasting all my replies so I don't have to type them out for you. So here's my reply to the DM saying, great, I've just sent over a confirmation email. So this email here, and make sure you check the spam just in case you don't see it come through. And that's going to really help with your deliverability. So they'll open that and it kind of signals to your email, the email gods, that you are a good trusted sender. I always then like to end a DM with a question just to keep the conversation going. So in this case, I help people run their marketing campaigns in their businesses. And then I just quickly want to ask them, what kind of business is it that you're in? There we go. So that's that branch. Now, if you want to, if they don't add an email, you can add a number of nudges. Again, Instagram Interactive Messenger, keep nudging them. And then you can link this back to once the email is not empty, you then send them that welcome email after that. Great. And that's the kind of mainstream workflow for anybody who comments on your particular post with your keyword. You get them onto your system by adding a tag. You respond to their comment, shows everybody else that you're responding to it and sending them what they've asked for. You then slide into their DMs and then start asking them questions for them to do it, with the goal to get their email address, and then you send them that welcome email and you're building your email list more and more. Now, you may remember I had a second option, which is to skip all of that and just come and work with me straight away. Really, really useful if people that have been consuming your content online, they've kind of had enough of that and they just want to come and work with you straight away. You need to give them an option in order to do that. So with this particular button, there is one called Work with Gavin. So again, let's add in what you would naturally say to somebody if they say, I want to work with you. So in my case, I like to say, let's jump on a call, because you want to speak to them, you want to sell them your offer, and you want to show what value you can give them. So that's awesome. Jump on in, let's book a call where I can go through a few things to see if we'd make a good match. Perfect. In this, I then want to send them to my particular landing page to book a call. So it's got my calendar, how to schedule it, super quick and easy for them to do that. So I'm going to create a button called Book Call. Then I'm going to add this emoji for them, and it's going to take them to a particular website. You then add in that website for them. There we go. So that's the website link that'll take them to it. Perfect. And then if they don't answer, or if they don't click that button, you then want to wait 1 minute until the next action occurs. So save action, then creates two different branches again. So we have the book a call sequence that takes you straight to the landing page. And then if they don't click that button, you can then just send them a nudge. Love a nudge. So after a minute, if they've not done that, send them a nudge to say, let me know if you have any issues, and we can jump straight into it. Done. Perfect. So let's just make sure we save this. Oftentimes I click out of it and it's not saved, so that's always useful. Now again, this is just a quick showing. You can make this a lot more complex. You can ask for their number straight away, just give them a call, very similar to how you gathered their email address here. So if their phone number is not empty, then you've got the number, you can call them straight away. Really easy to add that, very similar to, you can add more info, you can keep the conversation going, just using that same method of, here's an interactive message, what is it that you want to say, keep adding it. And once it's timed out, if they don't respond to you, just keep sending messages too. But make sure you're not bugging them, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you create a negative sentiment in your business. Okay, now then remember this third one. So the first message you ever sent them was, hey, thanks for the comment. Are you here to join the Confident Marketer newsletter, or whatever it is that you want them to sign up to, send to them? If they don't actually select the button, yes, sign me up, or work with Gavin, you can then just send them a nudge, exactly the same way as we've done before. So what I like to do here is called just a re-engagement. It's a super simple process. Just pop over an email and I'll get you all set up. Now what this is doing is actually skipping this yes, sign me up button and taking us straight to just pop your email and I'll send over what you need. So they don't have to click that button. I then am going to add what we call a go to action or link. So once you add this go to, instead of just creating the whole branch all over again, you just make it connect to the if else condition here. There we go. We send them a nudge to say, just give us your email and we'll send over all the details and get them set up. Once they do that, it goes back to this if-else condition, waiting until that email is not empty, waiting for them to reply. And then we've got that email added, and then they're just added to this particular workflow straight away. Perfect. So that's going to now work for Facebook as well as Instagram. Nice and easy, super, super efficient. It saves you a ton of money instead of using the feature, and you can send this as many times as you like. Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of comments coming in. It'll just keep triggering this. And that's how, if anybody comments on your post, you can get them to go through this workflow, gather their details, send them the lead magnet or the particular thing that you promised them, and then ultimately gather their details to build out your email list. Perfect. So let's click save at the top. Now you're probably asking, well, Gavin, what if they just DM me? This is if they comment on my post, but what if I want them to comment a particular word or DM me a particular word straight away? That's obviously going to bypass this particular workflow. Here is how you do that. You want to duplicate the workflow. Let's just call it the Manychat killer DM workflow. You can see I've got my one here, which is a comment workflow or DM workflow. You then go into that particular one here, and we're just going to change the trigger. So let's delete this trigger, which is the Instagram one. Let's delete this trigger, which is the Facebook one. And then let's just add in what we call a customer replied. Now, what's really intuitive about GoHighLevel is when anybody DMs you, you get a notification within the HighLevel software saying, hey, you've got a DM on Instagram. So what we're going to do is just say customer replied. We need to choose what channel they replied. You don't want them to say they replied to an email and then they get sent all of this information. Instead, we want to choose the reply channel. So that reply channel is my Instagram DM. If they come in and reply to me on a DM Instagram, we need to choose what particular phrase. So if that DM contains the phrase ideal, or ideal, they are then going to go through this particular workflow. So let's click save trigger. If they send you a DM with that particular word, they get the tag added to them, you respond. The next thing that you want to do is quickly just get rid of this one, which is the responding comments, because they're not replying to a particular comment. So let's just delete that action. There we go. But everything else stays the same. So they reply in a DM with your particular phrase, your keyword, they get tagged as an IG lead, and then they go through your workflow of signing you up, working with you, or if they don't, you can nudge them to just pop in their email addresses and so on and so forth. I really hope this helps. Click save, add publish, test it out, and it works like a charm, saving you so much money. Instead of using Manychat, you just do it straight on your GoHighLevel software. Far easier, far more intuitive. And all of those details are in your contacts and in the CRM system, so you don't have to download them or create zaps for them to link to your system. I hope you found this useful. If you have, please consider subscribing and popping on those notification buttons. I want to keep creating more valuable content, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.